Well, this will now be 72 hours. Yep, that's looking pretty good. What about the pedals? Yep, I think good enough. Hit those up on the wire wheel. Not great, but I think the wire wheel will take care of that. And the parts that were rusty on this are not so much anymore. These are looking good. You saw what happened there. I put the crank on the vise and heated it up and then put some penetrating oil on it, and it still wouldn't budge. I've added some penetrating oil on it and I'm going to let it sit until it cools off, give it another shot. And if that doesn't work, then I'm admitting defeat. Anyway, I've got other things to do and not much time to do it. So that's what's happening on this episode of Featherstone Bicycles. You saw in the opening, I was pulling the items out of the evapor rust. Not everything has come off this gooseneck, so we're going to hit that up on the wire wheel and see what we can do about that. The cable stays are in pretty good shape. We're going to hit those up on the wire wheel. And unfortunately, we made a disturbing discovery, and that is this pedal is straight, but unfortunately this one's crooked. So we're going to have to source a new pedal to match this style. You can see that rust came off. Actually just needed a little scrubbing. Sometimes that is the way the evapor rust works. You can pick it up out of the liquid and it'll look like the rust isn't gone, but if you just rub it, it'll be fine. Try a little solvent. And a Q-tip. I'll stick some grease down in there. As long as we're working on the pedals, we might as well finish everything up. Of course, I will have to go to the bike shop to see if I can get another one that matches. Heat these up a little bit, make them more pliable. There we go. Looks pretty good. Not great, but better than it did. And we're going to wipe the wax off the frame. Now it's time to put the rest of the pieces on the front derailleur. It goes like this. These are the limit screws. And now, since all of our shifting mechanism is complete, we can put all of this back in this large bag and be ready for assembly. Well, that was certainly fun. You probably may have noticed that once I got the bottom set of ball bearings in and got the chain ring over it, and in place, which of course was a little tricky because you just can't set it in there because the pawls are sticking out. So you have to twist it. And the first time I tried it, I twisted it and some of the ball bearings fell off. So anyway, once I got the chainring on, I realized that I had to keep on holding it, because if I tried to put it down, I was going to risk having the chainring move up and then have more of the ball bearings fall out. So then I had to put the rest of it in, but in order to do so, I had to consult one of the previous videos where I was taking it apart. Should have done that before, but I didn't. So holding this in one hand, I had to undo the phone from the tripod with the other hand, find the video, realize, see what order everything went in, get everything in there. Now, it is interesting that you probably noticed I had to hit my stash of new ball bearings, because I remember, again, I didn't count how many were on the top and the bottom, but when I put them on the bottom, I left a little gap, maybe one, at least one, possibly two ball bearings. And I know, and the reason I did that is I know that on the top side where you can actually see it, you can't see them there on the bottom side, or the outside, I guess you would call it. I do know that when I was looking at this before I was able to figure out how to get it apart, that there was a gap, about one, at least one, possibly two ball bearings. So I left that gap on the bottom, but when I went to go then put the ball bearings in at the top, I was short 2 or 3 ball bearings. So possibly there should have been more of a gap at the bottom. I don't know, but in any event, it works fine. So I don't think it's going to be any big deal. The very last thing I'm going to do is get this very greasy chain soaking in the solvent, because that's going to take a couple days. And then we'll be able to clean it up sometime in the future. Always fun working on something that you've never worked on before. Fortunately, I didn't break anything. Next time we're gonna get into, I think, the wheels, at least one of them. So thanks for sticking with me, and I hope to see you next time on Featherstone Bicycles.